Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well. What do we have here? A sitting politician, congressman, using the office to carry out personal beefs. Yeah, fam, that is what Patrick Fallon is being accused of. Y'all remember the Texas congressman who had a whole lot to say when Karmelo Anthony judge reduced his bond from $1 million to $250,000. I mean, he pitched hissy fissy. Boy, he was hot. Yeah, went all online disparaging the judge, and the judge is a Republican. Yeah, he wanted out of the party. I thought it was party over everything. Maybe it's race over everything, you know. But anyway, fam, yeah. And check this out. Now we know why he was so evil-spirited towards this kid, Karmelo Anthony, who was sentenced to 35 years in prison for stabbing Austin Metcalf to death prior to a track meet. Actually, there was some type of rain delay going on, and that's why they were under the tent, and they got into this altercation. So this guy, Patrick Fallon, the congressman, he was really vocal about all of this. And now we know why. You see, Patrick got a son that attended the same school, Memorial High, with Austin Metcalf and his brother, Hunter. Yeah, fam. And furthermore, his son, Patrick Fallon Jr., was at the track meet. And furthermore, he was under that tent. Yeah, fam. Yeah, what's done in the dark will come to light. But check him out on Fox News after the verdict.
Pat Fallon's a Texas congressman. You've been friends with the Metcalf family for some time. Your kids attended high school together. This is a tough loss here. How do you reflect on it now?
Well, it was senseless, Bill. It was something that it was just Austin Metcalf was a great young man. His twin brother, Hunter, they were the pair. They were the inside linebackers for my son's high school football team. And this is just, I didn't believe it when I heard it a year and change ago, and I still can't believe it now. And Megan Metcalf has to deal with the loss of her son for the rest of her life.
Here are some of the impact statements. I'll read them that occurred in court yesterday. No cameras in the courtroom, just so our viewers are aware. This is the twin brother of Austin, Hunter Metcalf. I want you to realize how much pain you caused me and my family. You let the devil take over you in the moment. His mom said, you may have been sentenced to 35 years behind bars. You should feel lucky. I've been sentenced to a lifetime without my son. His dad said, you can't even look me in the eye, but you can stab my son in the bleeping heart. What is your understanding as to what the beef was between these two guys?
It was so some of the witnesses, Bill, are very dear friends of ours as well. So as soon as it happened, I was talking to some of the eyewitnesses that now, testified in the trial, and they were kind of would be described as star witnesses. The killer came under a tent of a different high school. He wasn't supposed to be there, and he was menacing. He was looking and trying to pick a fight. That's what all the witnesses said, black and white witnesses. And I asked several of them, I said, do you think he was just looking for trouble from anyone? And that was the response. Yeah, anyone that approached him was going to get the business end of that knife that he carried to a track meet. And to sit there and say that he was in fear of his life, we looked it up. You know how many times somebody was severely beaten or harmed or killed at a track meet anywhere in Texas? We can't find an instance. So it was an absolute, it was ludicrous to claim that. And that, like Hunter said, the devil took him over and he decided to take a life.
Really feel badly for that family. Just two more questions on this. Do you know, did these two teenagers have a history together?
No, they did not.
Were they competitors? They did not know each other at all that day?
They were complete strangers. The killer was looking to harm someone. And it would have been, and I asked several of the witnesses, if it had been a black student, do you think that the same thing would have happened? And they said, absolutely yes. He was a killer. He was a demon that day, and he took Austin Metcalf's life, and now he's going to have to suffer the consequences.
So the defense attorneys were arguing like heat of the moment sort of crime. The defense attorney said decisions in the heat of the moment are different from decisions after cool reflection. If he felt terror rendered him incapable of cool reflection, sudden passion applies. The jury rejected that. And you just heard the video from Brooks reporting outside the courthouse. Was there ever any evidence of racism that was entered into the trial?
Zero. This was cold and calculated. He brought a knife to a track meet. He was looking for trouble, and so he did premeditate the attack. And then to enter race into it, that was from the defense. The things that they said about Austin Metcalf, the victim, I won't repeat. I mean, he was a 17-year-old kid that was beloved. I went to the funeral. There were probably 1,500 people there, and there were hundreds of African Americans there because our community in Frisco is that. We represent America. We're a microcosm in the fastest growing city in the country. So it's really disgusting that they tried to get the killer off by pitting people one against another.
Bless your community.
He lied. There was no hundreds of black people there. Even if they were, that don't mean nothing. But him saying that it wasn't racially motivated, he lied. Talking about Austin was a good kid, he lied. Talking about Austin was beloved, he lied. Austin was feared. Austin was a bully. This is what the kids that went to school with Austin said. He was a bully, including the cheerleaders who pretty much described kissing Austin's butt, him and Hunter's butt, to try to get along with them. But they said that they called them out. Hunter allegedly said, this is one of the cheerleaders saying that this is what one of the cheerleaders told one of the other boys, and the boy went back and told Hunter what she said. But Hunter, let me back up. This is what Hunter told one of the boys, and the boy went back and told the cheerleaders that Hunter said, my hands are bisexual. I hit girls and boys. Hunter Metcalf, good kid. Austin, his twin, good kid. Yeah, right. Then Austin, Hunter said that he was sitting down on the bench, the bleachers, the entire time that Austin and Karmelo was faced off. Who believes that? You ain't got to be a twin brother, a twin sister to know that that's a lie. Ain't nobody gonna be just sitting down the entire time while their brother is standing up, getting ready to get into a fight, and you just sitting down minding your own business. Just lies, nothing but lies. I don't believe none of it. Here's what Pat wrote on Facebook. Scumbag killer was just found guilty of murder 1. It was the obvious and correct verdict. Please join me in praying for the Metcalf family. Now remember, this is the same dude who omitted all of that trash he was talking, all of those words that he used, including scumbag, to describe Karmelo. Not once did he mention that his son was under that tent. Why would he do that? He's talking about everything else. He got a motor mouth. He talking about everything else. Why ain't he talking about that? Interesting. Now check this out. Here's another statement that he made. Accused murderer of Austin Metcalf is now free. This is after the judge lowered Austin's bond. He allegedly killed lowered Karmelo's bond. He allegedly killed Austin in cold blood for no reason. The bond was initially $1 million. Collin County Judge Angela Tucker dramatically reduced the bond to $250,000, and magically his bond was posted hours later. Tucker is a disgrace and needs to be fired come March 2028. I will do everything I can to ensure she loses in the next GOP primary. Who's with me? At this rate, Pat, you better hope you got a job. You better hope you don't lose in the next GOP primary because you have been compromised. That's right, I said it. You've been compromised. Now check out what Provoke Change said about Pat. They got his number. Rules for thee, but not for me. The truth behind the outrage. When U.S. Congressman Pat Fallon took to social media to aggressively blast a sitting judge and insert himself directly into a local criminal case, many wondered why a federal official was so unhinged over local bond hearings. Now we know the truth. The redactions on the official police reports are leaking. The congressman wasn't just a concerned politician watching from afar. His own son, Patrick Edward Fallon Jr., was a student athlete at the exact school and is named right there on the official police transport and witness roster for the day of the incident. It hit close to home. We get it. Any parent would be shaken. But using a massive federal platform to use words like scumbag and attack a district judge while concealing your own family's direct presence at the scene isn't justice. It's a dangerous conflict of interest. When politicians use vitriol to stir up online mobs for situations happening in their own backyard, they cross the line from public service into personal retaliation. Expose the narrative. Check the records. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Expose the narrative. Check the records. I ain't got no problem with that. Let's check the records. Memorial Warriors, 2025 Junior Varsity roster. Who is that at the very top? Patrick Fallon, quarterback. Yeah, there he is. Pat at the very top. I know that that's insignificant that he's at the top, because they're just, it looks like they're not really going in order, but I wonder if his dad made a call and demanded that his son be placed at the very top of the roster. Yeah. So there you have it, fam. Once again, a politician using his position to handle personal beefs. Now, who amongst us think that Pat's influence ended on Facebook? Who amongst us think that? Remember, Pat was friends with Jeff Metcalf or the Metcalf family. Patrick Jr. is friends with Austin and Hunter. You think that sitting congressman who is pretty much abusing his office, you think he's not going to reach out and make some calls and try to, influence the outcome of that trial? You think he's not going to let it be known that we're watching closely? We're checking y'all. Y'all make sure y'all get it right in the name of white power. Yeah. I absolutely believe Patrick abused his office. I believe he abused his position. At the very least, he called in a favor. Yeah. I was born in the morning, but not this morning. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.